is quarantine day 10, coming up near the end here. It's 4 more days, 5 more nights, because I leave on the 15th at 7 a.m. Oh no, I guess today is the 11th, so technically, yeah, it's just 4 more days away. I think tomorrow or the day after, they'll probably come talk to me about how I'm going to depart. I better call my buddy tonight and see if he's still willing to come pick me up and just make sure everything is plotted out. But we do have a hard-boiled egg for breakfast, and oh, they gave an apple juice today, but I pulled the orange juice out of the fridge so that I'd have a nice cold juice. We have the drink set, obligatory, and a thing of fruit, and it looks like a chocolate cupcake or muffin, and then 2 bottles of water, which I feel dehydrated, so I'm gonna drink a lot more water today, so that's kind of nice. And then a bowl of soup that's probably seen better days, and then a sandwich like they like to do for breakfast here. And this is a egg mayo croissant. So this is an egg mayo croissant. Also probably seen better days, like already opened. And oh, there it is. Egg mayo croissant. Need to start reading more, try to get faster at that. I don't know how good my sign recognition is. Might have to do one of those things where you just try to recognize the first couple of characters of a word to try to lead that way. I'm quite curious as to how navigation is going to work, for me at least, when I'm driving around. I expect everything to kind of be in Korean, so that'll be a really interesting search. Meaning, like, when I'm driving, it's like, okay, what, if it doesn't tell me what lane to be in on the freeway, I'm already bad at this anyways, like, I'll miss the turn, and I mean, I guess if I miss the turn, it's like, okay, well, I'm going until the next exit, making a U-turn and coming all the way back, and I hope that that is something that's plausible here in Korea, because I do know that they have like toll roads that you have to pay for. We'll see what happens. The morning announcement is going to go off for the fact that they finished delivering the food. This actually came in a little early today at like about 7:50, but because I was making my coffee, I was a little late doing everything. Oh, and when I say making coffee, it's like literally fresh coffee, not instant coffee. So I have to say that's probably been one of the best like tips that I've gotten for a person who loves coffee. It's really nice to have coffee and coffee beans and actually like be able to go through the process of making the coffee. By any means, it's not like the fresh type of coffee that I'm making at home where I have the beans in like an airtight jar and then I'm measuring it out on a scale and changing the grinding settings to make sure that it's the perfect grind. But aside that fact, having the AeroPress and being able to go through the notions of like, okay, adding the filter, you know, putting the beans, the grind in, and then pouring the water to the certain amount. The steps that you take are still that like uniformity type of deal where you're still going through the same motions, and it kind of gives you like a sense of purpose on how to get there, plus that a sense of achievement when the coffee actually comes out. And so far it's always been quite decent. I won't say like extremely nice, because some cups have been better than others, but through my experiments I've pretty much narrowed down like where I kind of want the coffee to taste and how it should look inside the AeroPress, how high the water should get before I have to worry about it either being too watery or a little too strong. So yeah, it's really worked out, and I do think that that's helped greatly in just keeping me sane, because it's just one of those daily tasks that I always do. I have at least 2 cups a day, so that's just the fresh stuff. I tend to be drinking the instant stuff a little bit later in the day when I'm getting lazy. Anyhow, here is the croissant sandwich again, and then the soup looks like the potato type soup, but it could be a little bit different. And then we have the fruit, the chocolate chip muffin, my orange juice instead of the apple juice, and then the fresh cup of coffee that I was talking about how I made it. So yeah, it all looks good, And let's go ahead and dig in. I might have actually had the egg croissant before. I'm not actually 100% sure, but let's go ahead and give it a taste just in case. Well, it tastes familiar, so I probably had it before. A bit on the sweet side, really nice though. And I want to say they add potato to it. There's a texture in there. It's a nice little bite. I think the croissant's a little on the sweet side too, which is nice. Makes for the complete meal, so to say. And then this looks a little different than the regular potato soup, so. Oh, yeah, interesting. This tastes like clam chowder without anything in it. It's good, still actually warm, which is impressive because I let it sit there for at least 5 minutes. And then the fruit I've already done. Fruit here in Asia has been amazing so far. So here is the chocolate muffin. Let's go ahead and get a quick bite of that. This might be a weird comparison, but it tastes like a dried chocolate muffin from Costco. It's a very familiar flavor, to me at least. I think I'm gonna finish off this segment of the video just by going over, I woke up at 7 a.m. today, and I started working immediately and realized that tomorrow's Columbus Day. And I don't know if my company is celebrating Columbus Day today and everyone off, but today's Monday here in Korea, which means it's Sunday in America. And so I won't find out until tomorrow, really, which is kind of weird. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm working on a day that I'm not supposed to be, but I hope that everything goes well and that they tell me that I'm not working on my time off. So otherwise, whatever, I'll give it to them. I'm cool with working. Anyhow, we'll check back in at lunch. See you then. Good afternoon. It's been about 40 minutes since I've received my food so far. I was actually talking to a buddy back in the States because it's about 7, 8 p.m. for them. And yeah, food's just been sitting here, so it's probably cold now. It did come pretty warm. I actually unpacked it and everything while I was talking to him, but it's gonna look pretty familiar. There are, I think there is only one thing in here that I don't think I've had before, so this will be a pretty short vid. But we do have the silverware pack, thing of rice, a soup, and that built fish meal again. I'm actually quite hungry, so this will be nice to crack into. Just started a new K-drama. Strongest Delivery Man is what it's called. It's pretty entertaining so far. It has an actor in it that I quite like. The guy from Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. I don't know his name, and admittedly, Korean names give me the hardest times because it's like having to remember the two. Can't even recognize whether they're like male or female names just yet, but I'll be working on that. Still working on the botchums for the understanding of how to read things appropriately. It's actually, I found a great site, but it's really difficult. Like I keep looking at it and when I'm reading things, certain things stick pretty easily, like certain consonants that end on one of those phonetics, and you go to the next phonetic and it's a vowel. You just move the consonant from that to the vowel. That's pretty easy to remember. But the learning of certain consonants change the sound of the, or have their sounds change altogether because of either the following vowel or the following consonant. So like the H sound typically changes quite a bit, is one that I noticed. Trying to remember, this is how I like partially study, is I just keep looking at it and reading it and going over and practicing words. Yeah, it's pretty good. I got it down to a point of where I'm happy enough, and I'm pretty confident with the way that I write things. Oh, the double consonant endings, that I'm still trying to really go over, and I have no confidence in that. That's really difficult. I'm trying to think. With today's lunch, I did get a grape juice for the first time. I will film that with tonight's dinner because it was obviously warm and I put it in the fridge and I want it to be nice and cold. But now I have an apple juice, an orange juice, and a grape juice in the fridge. So I'll probably drink the apple juice since that's the one I got first. But, oh, it looks like I was actually incorrect here. It looks like there's actually 3 things that I have not had before on this lunch bento box. So of course we have the built fish that is actually quite nice, so I'll be happy with that. We have, I think this is tofu. It could be fish cake, but I can't really tell until I eat it. We have eggplant, which that's the first time I've seen eggplant as well. We have, looks like a mixture of spicy pickles and then your regular kimchi. And then maybe I had this? I can't recall. But this looks like fried tofu. So it could be that this is not fried tofu or vice versa. This is fried fish and this is tofu. So we will see. Here's the rice and the soup that came with it. Oh, and it came with a bottle of water. Looks like this will be a nice meal. I'm actually quite hungry. I was hungry as I was talking to my buddy, so let's go ahead and crack in. We're gonna start off with one of these, either fish cakes or tofu. The more I look at it, I think it's a fish cake. And it's a fish cake. It's in like a soy sauce stir fry. It's a little bit salty, but it's really nice. Now the eggplant. I think that's like a stewed then pickled eggplant. I'm not 100% sure. My mom knows how to make this though. Tastes just like what my mom makes, and it's delicious. It has the fresh eggplant flavor. There's no bitterness whatsoever, and there's just like a slightly salty or stewed flavor to it. Follow that up with a piece of kimchi. If I could just have meat and kimchi every night here, I think I'll be happy. All right, and then this final item here, which I thought was tofu. The more I look at it, the more I'm thinking this is actually a pancake of some sort, maybe like an onion pancake or a potato pancake. Sure enough, it is a pancake. Yeah, it's good. It's pretty sweet. And just as a palate cleanser, just this broth. Maybe this is ox bone soup. It's good, whatever it is. As I'm watching that Strongest Delivery Man, one of the restaurants they keep talking about is this ox bone soup or oxtail soup. One of the two, but yeah, it's good, and it looks just like that. So hopefully it is. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up here. I did do my morning check-in this time. Made sure to do that. I'll probably have another cup of coffee here and then get back to work. It's been a fairly chill morning, so hopefully some people will be getting in the morning here in America, that is, and I'll be getting some responses to the emails that I sent out, and I could do a little bit more work at that time. Anyhow, I'll check back in at dinner time. Good afternoon. Well, good evening almost. They're doing the extremely long messaging about exiting the place. And speaking of which, with dinner tonight that has come a little bit early, it's 6 o'clock now, but they delivered it probably about 10 minutes ago. I've actually been kind of doing some research. They actually sent a checkout notice as well. Now, one of the things that I have to think about is, just ended the noticed, is that they're only willing to drive me up to Gangnam. That's not actually close enough to where I need to be. I am closer to Seoul Station. One of the reasons why I chose Seoul Station as the place where I was going to be kind of centrally located was because all the videos that I watched, or all the stuff that I was watching about like after quarantine, what do you do? They all said that they got dropped off at the Seoul Station. Well, apparently not this place. This place will either drop me off at Incheon or at Suseo, and I'm gonna have to take a look at both to see which one's actually closer to my hotel, because if I go to Gangnam, I just looked that up, it's an hour away from where I'm trying to get to. I mean, I'm not all too upset about. Maybe when I get there, I'll just go sit in a coffee shop for a moment and make sure that the trains aren't too packed, because the thing is I'm gonna have 2 suitcases, a carry-on suitcase, and a backpack with me. Not the most convenient ways of getting around. Yeah, that kind of sucks. And if my buddy does come pick me up, which I'm okay with, but I don't think he should, because he's not vaccinated and he's going to be literally coming to a place where they have people with COVID, like that test positive. So anyhow, I got the survey. I'll call them and see if there's any way that I could get to Seoul Station, or if Suseo Station is literally the only place that they'll take me. But I'll give them a call in a moment here. I think I'll call my friend first and see what he wants to do. The announcement for the fact that they delivered the food is now going. I'm gonna put this over to the side real quick. And we do have the grape juice from lunch that I was talking about. We have one of these guys, the yogurts, which I swapped out for a cold one. Have a soup of sorts, dressing, something in a hamburger bun, salad, some fruit. And I actually really like this. There's like a spicy, like maybe kalbi or bulgogi type deal. And then the fried rice again, which is quite nice. But let's go ahead, crack everything open. It looks like the pork that I had before. I don't know if it actually is. I'll taste it, and if it is, then the video will probably end a little early. Okay, the hamburger is a tuna fish hamburger, which I've had before. I know that I have. It's all right. Again, not my preferred meal, but beggars and choosers and such. A couple things occurred to me, and I don't know if I actually brought this up or not. Maybe I'll just edit this out if I did. But I've pretty much had the air conditioning turned on ever since I got into the room on the 1st. I've not turned it off, nor do I really know how. Maybe if I turn it up a bit, but I already have it set to pretty high. I have it set to 24 degrees Celsius, and I'm pretty fond of like 21, 22, but the fact that it's like blowing, it does get kind of chilly at times. The temperature outside is about 25-ish degrees during the day, but there's also that, and the fact that like I turn on the lights pretty early. I think, like, I feel that I turn on the lights pretty early every day, because I don't know which way I'm facing. Probably north is my guess. I'm guessing that way, like towards Everland, is north. I'll check it on a map here and put a note if I'm right or wrong. But I think I have a north-facing wall, and being so far up on the latitude, I think, and the time of year, I think I'm not actually getting as much sun as I possibly could. It's not a complaint, it's just something that I noticed, and I've just turned on the lights and typically have them on for quite a while, so I can't imagine what the electricity bill here must be. It's kind of what I'm getting at. And then the TV is like my source of like sanity here, I would say. That's probably the big thing that I always have on. I wake up and I turn on the TV, and whether I'm watching like a YouTube video, or if I'm watching Netflix, or on the VPN watching Disney Plus or something like that, I always have noise going on. So typically the only time I pause anything is when I'm eating. You know, Spotify, YouTube music, it doesn't matter, just to have some noise in the room while I'm working or just chilling. I mean, I'm even like when I'm doing the hotel workout thing, I'm following a video that's on the TV. I have to say, like, another great tip that I got was to bring some way to connect to the television. I am kind of bummed because I do have a Chromecast literally sitting at home right now on my dresser that I was like debating whether I should bring or not. I totally should have just brought it. That way I could have gone wireless with it, because my room has its own router. I don't know if all rooms have their own router, but if you're gonna be here at the Golden Tulip, each room has their own router, so kind of nice. And because of that, if I brought a Chromecast, I could have just streamed everything right to the TV. I guess not Disney Plus, but everything else could have been streamed to the TV, which would have really been nice. But I brought a USB-C to HDMI cable, and that saved me. So I have the TV always going, and it probably has the best speakers in my room aside from my Microsoft Surface headphones, if I just don't want to have any noise go out whatsoever. I was heavily debating whether I should bring that Chromecast, and I'm like kicking myself because I'm like thinking, I even rented a house. Of course I should have brought the Chromecast. Plus it wouldn't have taken all that much room. It's just a stick, right? Or a little ball type deal. Anyhow, Oh, let's talk about the food, right? I don't think I actually have any footage of it. And we have the fried rice, and then to me it just looks like stir-fried pork, but maybe that's some sort of barbecue pork. It doesn't have the char grills on it, so it doesn't really look barbecued to me. We have the soup, the dressing, salad, some fruit, and then I already checked, that's the tuna sandwich, as you can see right there. Some extra pickles, the grape juice, and the yogurt. And then, as I said, I have the TV on already in the background. But yeah, pretty crazy. Things are coming to an end here. I think tomorrow they'll probably be coming by to do a nasal swab with the way that this is going. It's everything's been good. Like, can't really complain. I'm pretty sure that's the second photo I took of the meal tonight. But let's go ahead and get into it. And here we go. The pork. Oh yeah, that sweet, spicy pork. It's like kalbi. It tastes so good. Yep. Regular old potato soup. I practically had that soup every day here and I've not gotten tired of it. I think Lynn would agree that's my special skill. I could practically eat the same dish every day, day in, day out, without any concern of losing taste for it. Apparently I ate chicken with basil, the stir-fry Thai dish. I made it for 1 month straight without realizing it and just ate it every day for dinner. My roommates noticed and they were like, hey, can we stop eating that? I was like, oh yeah, my bad. But yep, the tuna sandwich. Tuna sandwich. Not my preferred thing, but still good. And I can't remember if I had grape juice or not. It's funny. In Japanese, the word for grape is budo, and that's podo. So, very similar. Oh man, that's so good. Very sugary. I wonder if it says how much 5% juice. That's hilarious. Well, it doesn't say all natural anywhere, but yeah. It tastes like grape. It tastes like grape candy, which is fine. It's still really good. Anyhow, these videos are gonna start coming to an end, and I actually have to start thinking about how to get out of here. That's kind of crazy. I was talking to my mom about how like it's gonna be nuts to not have room service. Like if you think about it, it's gonna be 14 days of breakfast, lunch, and dinner getting served to me when at a certain time. I had to follow kind of like all these rules for the hotel and not for myself. Now you're gonna be leaving that. It's like I get to go do whatever I want. I mean, I'm still gonna be waking up really early because of work, but now it's like I gotta figure out what I want to do for breakfast and everything. I think I'm just gonna go buy eggs and like cook myself like a simple, probably like egg salad sandwich type deal every morning. I did bring oatmeal, but I'm debating whether I want to take that down to Busan with me or not so that I could have quick meals in Busan. I'm still in debate, trying to figure out how to get around all that stuff. The Busan Marathon, the Southern Marathon, will be an interesting journey. That's all for dinner tonight. I'm gonna finish this while watching Masang, try to finish up that the last couple episodes here, and I'll be giving my friend a call to see what's what. So yeah, we'll see you in the morning.